One of the underrated memes of this election cycle was the B-list celebrity intervention that occurred at each stage in the transition of power. First, they warned us to vote correctly, or be doomed to a 4-year term under the wrath of
a racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of our society.
Then they lost the election and recruited a bunch of who are they agains to urge the electoral delegates to vote their conscience.
Especially competent to serve as President of the United States of America.
Gosh, what was she in? Oh, right. Man, she has not aged well at all. Then the delegates voted and Donald Trump officially became the 45th president of the United States, and yet these people still somehow felt the entitlement to issue demands to Congress, the same Congress controlled by candidates they opposed.
We demand that you vigorously oppose him.
We demand that you block nominees who threaten the rights of women,
the LGBT community, people of color, immigrants, and the poor.
I put on a sport coat, added a vignette filter over this clip, played some subtle war drums in the background, and in this pretentious tone, I demand that you like this video. These celebrity videos were like the original Jurassic Park trilogy or the Transformers series. Each installment was progressively worse, but they kept making them. Why? At least Jurassic Park had somewhat of a respectable recovery with the new one. Transformers somehow descended into a documentary about a deranged hobo. The point is, when your efforts aren't producing desired results, it's time to reinvent your approach. Jurassic Park pulled in Chris Pratt, and I watched. Shia LaBeouf pulled in incidental opportunistic Nazi praise, and I watched. For these celebrities making political PSAs, they've taken a very serious tone from high atop the summit of Moral Mountain. Why not lighten it up a bit? Why not try a little comedy? And that's exactly what they've done with a new spot on Funny or Die's YouTube channel. That's right, at first they said it was Hillary or Die.
We can save the day.
For our children, for our communities, for America.
But now they settle for Funny or Die. That's a dangerous wager. You're on.
There's sure been a lot of hullabaloo going on with President Trump's last executive order,
where he banned non-citizens from 7 predominantly Muslim countries
from entering the United States.
And a lot of people, including me, had questions like, why is Trump doing this?
Historians confirmed the existence of another constitution.
And it's called the Alternative Constitution.
Here, for example, is the normal constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. However, Trump's alt constitution goes a bit further than that, adding, but if a handsome, brave, scared president makes an executive order that favors one religion over another, he shall only experience pure ecstasy.
I get it's a joke, but if you're gonna rip other people for sloppy understanding of the Constitution, make sure your own understanding is squeaky clean first. You referenced the First Amendment, but you should have started with the constitutional preamble. We the people of the United States. Foreign nationals don't have a right to come here. It's a privilege for which they must petition, and there is nothing in the Constitution that says religion is to be excluded from that consideration. In fact, in granting asylum, federal law that's been on the books since 1980 requires that we do. An applicant for refugee status must prove persecution on at least one basis, religion included. The Establishment Clause of the First Amendment that you reference forbids the establishment of a state religion. It's quite a stretch to interpret that to mean we cannot consider religion when selecting prospective immigrants. Even the loony Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, who just struck Trump's policy down, wouldn't go that far, skirting that claim made by the plaintiffs that disfavoring foreign Muslims violates the Establishment Clause. The Ninth Circuit instead noted what it sees as a due process issue in restricting the ability of an individual with an existing right to be here to travel without notice and a hearing. And all of this is true even if the policy said no Muslims. But it doesn't. It says 87% of global Muslims are just fine, thank you. What kind of official government establishment of religion would miss 87% of the enemy religion it was trying to ban? And remember, all of this awful joke is based on the premise that other people live in an alternative reality. Alternatively ironic. Alternatively hilarious.
It looks like many have tried to destroy the alternate constitution, but it has some sort of dark magic protecting it.
Yes, please give me a constitutional law lesson from Susan Sarandon, the constitutional scholar who says the Second Amendment only applies to muskets. So we should ban automatic weapons. Good call, Susan. You know, Congress thought the same thing when they effectively regulated automatic weapons out of availability in 1934. Since then, I can find 2 instances of murder with a legally owned automatic weapon, the most recent of which was in 1992. But Susan misspoke. She meant semi-automatic weapons, which of course aren't used for hunting anything but humans. For every step closer to the truth Susan takes, I guess she insists on taking 2 steps back. Susan, if the Second Amendment covers only muskets, then the First Amendment covers only quill and ink, and you have no right to make the god-awful movies that you have. Mr. Woodcock, The Banger Sisters, Tammy. If only the feds had raided her studios to stop these atrocities before they could be distributed. At least now that we're clear on the Constitution, they can and they will.
Even the alternative constitution doesn't explain all of Trump's actions.
Trump has also been looking at the wrong Statue of Liberty.
France sent us the one on Liberty Island, but apparently Russia sent an identical one a few years later in Queens, where Trump walked by it all the time growing up.
This other statue's plaque reads a little different too.
It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, so that we may lock them in tiny rooms for days. Fear outsiders, fear outsiders."
Fear outsiders.
You had a decent joke set up with a Russian Statue of Liberty, and this is the best you can do with it? A handgun and a plate of potatoes? Actually, I can't even tell what those are, to be honest. You could have at least given the statue an AK-47. Or better yet, make it a statue of a shirtless horseback Putin. Or if you're gonna use this lame one, at least make a joke about Trump grabbing her by the P word on the way by. Or maybe the statue could grab Trump, you know? Because in Soviet Russia, pussy grabs you. The point is, your joke is bad and you should feel bad.
If you are watching, which you may be doing because you don't read.
Ha! Yeah, Trump, you don't read because you're dumb. And you watch stupid stuff. Like this stuff that we make.
Help us help Trump by getting him the real copies of the Constitution. It'll help him get on the same page as all of us.
Because we are fucked if we don't.
I think you misunderstand. People like watching celebrities get fucked. That's why Kim Kardashian is famous and Donald Trump is president. Okay, and then you close the video with a sincere political statement about how that lame interim Attorney General Sally Yates is a hero and you're so virtuous for opposing the Muslim ban that isn't a Muslim ban. Look, we had a deal, you scumbags. As all the gratuitous jokes in the comments section say, it was funny or die. Those were the terms you offered, not us. You had your chance. I'll meet you out back by the woodshed. Don't cry for them. They were already dead. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below and especially over on Twitter. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live streams. Those are linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.